In this exercise, we're going to create an Ultimatic, and the intention of this Ultimatic is going to be to allow us to window or sweep select an area with all different entities on the drawing, and then have an Ultimatic that isolates the duct and the tags, exports the duct, and then moves the duct with the tags to a layer that happens to be locked called ML exported. So it's going to be an Ultimatic that grabs the duct, exports the duct, and then moves the duct and the tags to a layer called ML exported. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into the library icon on the PractiCAD ribbon. We're going to maximize our space and then come over to the left hand side in our browser and go down to Ultimatics. And we're going to create a new Ultimatic. So we're going to hit the green check and then we're going to pick a BMP image. PractiCAD's going to ask us for a BMP. We're going to select it, press open, and then we're going to name it. And for this tutorial, we're going to name it PCAD Layer Export. We're going to hit the Enter key. And now we're ready to pull the automatics into the Ultimatic. Now, any time you design an Ultimatic, you want to take time to think about exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And you have to think about the way PractiCAD's going to accomplish this. What order and what types of automatics do we need? Well, what we're saying is we want to sweep select an area. Now, when you do that in AutoCAD, you're going to get a hold of everything. Backgrounds, XREFs, duct, steel, tags, grills, all the entities. So the first thing you should have, which is usually the first thing in almost all Ultimatics, is you should have a selection automatic that grabs a hold of only what we want. And in this exercise, we want it to grab a hold of the duct and the duct with tags because we want to move the tags and the duct all to that exported layer. So we're going to go into the selection automatics. We're going to find an auto that's going to do that. And we're going into PractiCAD selection autos. These are just the default ones that come with PractiCAD. And there's one right here called current selection fittings with tags. We always have a little CS for current selection. And it says fittings with tags. So we're going to place it into our Ultimatic. Now, just to make sure that this selection automatic is the one we want and all the data and information and parameters in there is correct, what we're going to do is we're going to go into it and say edit the selected automatic. So we're going to click on this button. PractiCAD's going to find it in the browser on the left, wherever it's created, and we're going to see what we have in here. So it's a selection automatic. You can see that because it's under automatics, selection. You can see that it's grabbing the entities without tags. I'm sorry, with tags. And what we're going to do here is go to selection. And here we've got fittings, current selection. So it's going to grab all the fittings in the current selection with tags. And then we've got conditions. And it seems we have every single fitting in the software checked. So this is going to grab all the fittings in the window with their tags. So this is what we're looking for. So now we're just going to back up using the backward button. We're going to be back into the Ultimatic. And now what we're going to do is think about the next part. Now that we've got the duct and the tags highlighted, what do we want to do second? Well, we want to export what's currently selected. So we're going to go into one of our export automatics. And we've got one here called export with groups. We have one here called export current selection. Either one should do. We're going to choose the one that says export with groups. We're going to add it to the automatic. Once again, just to make sure that it does what we want it to, let's look in it and go edit the selected automatic and see what parameters we have chosen. So on the left hand side, it's moved us automatically to the browser. We've got export with groups, and we can see that we're exporting fittings in the current selection. This is exactly what we want. We want to export what's currently selected because the first automatic selects fittings in a window. So now that those fittings are highlighted, if we want PractiCAD to just move forward with the Ultimatic, we now want to export what's currently selected. So this looks correct. And then of course we have our basic conditions. What fittings should be in there, whether it's going to be grouped, and of course where we want to save this export automatic. And all of this is covered in the tutorials on how to design export automatics. So now what we're going to do is we're going to back up again using the backward browser button. And now we're going to think about the next part. So we've selected fittings and tags in the current window. Then automatic kicks in to saying export what's currently selected. Now what we need to do is move everything to that layer. And to move stuff to a layer, we need to use a PractiCAD Command Automatic. So what we're going to do here is come into the Command Automatic, hit the plus key, and we've got one we created for this tutorial already called Change to Exported Layer. And we're just going to add that one to the Ultimatic. Once again, let's take a look at what's in there. We're going to go edit the selected automatic. We're going to save changes. And inside here, it's going to run through the function. And if you've seen the tutorials on Command Automatics, we go through this exact one. It's going to change the layer to ML exported and hit the enter key twice. Once again, you have to watch all the tutorials on how this particular function works. But basically, this is going to move whatever's currently selected in the command line. It's going to move it to the layer ML exported. So we've got everything correct. We're going to back up. It seems that we have the 3 steps exactly in the order that we need them, starting with this automatic and then going automatic 2 and automatic 3. So all we need to do now is drag our PCAD layer export and drag the button into our automatic or Ultimatic bin. And now we're going to exit out. So to test it, we're just going to highlight everything. We're going to come over here and we're just going to click on PCAD layer export once. And you can see that it obviously selected the duct. Now it's running the export automatic. So we're going to say OK. That's what we want to export. And you can see it did take just the duct and the tags, and you can see it's moved to the ML exported layer, which is locked. So we now have created a 3-step Ultimatic which isolates the duct and tags, then exports it, then moves it to another layer. So this is a good example of using a combination of different automatics to form one Ultimatic.